Like, we just are never happy. I don't know why.
You can never satisfy a woman.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It just seems to be our nature. I don't know.
I just did a video on this. Corporate land is dominated by women. It's done. Phone it in. Man, I don't think the job space is even a viable market for men anymore. I truly don't. I think it's all dominated by women. Corporations are headed in that direction. But my point in stating that is that there's really only two sectors left of men, in my opinion, who can even find a wife. And this is controversial, but it's losers and the rich. Losers have access to women because, in my opinion, there's a low anxiety. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain income spread right now that is very hard for men in the dating market. And that spread, in my opinion, is between like 140 to 250,000 a year income. Those guys are invisible. They're not rich, but they have the kind of jobs that are just hard enough to where there's no women around. So they're having such a tough time, and a lot of these guys,
computer geeks,
100%, the tech guys, and I have access to this market because these are the guys who follow me on Twitter, and they all lament to me over and over again that as soon as they got on their feet and got these higher paying jobs, their dating market completely dried up. It's drier than the Sahara. They cannot find women. When they were losers, they said they were cleaning up, and I think it's because,
are they going for higher quality women now, though?
I think they are.
Oh, yeah, I think that's probably why.
That's probably why. But I do think that in this culture that's inverted, the ambition of a man who works out routinely, is super shredded, jacked, rich, it yells anxiety. And I think that is what's putting these women off subliminally. I think that women like low anxiety men, which is why I think the loser archetype, for whatever reason, does do well in this kind of market.
It's only the loser if he's hot, though, right? You're telling an ugly loser gets bitches?
That's true.
Oh, okay.
That's true. But then they talk about how, like, gold diggers, and I'm like, how do you bash a gold digger? In my eyes, that makes zero sense, because you mean to tell me that a woman likes you for something that you earned rather than the way that you were born? Like, that's how it should be. A woman should be into you based on what you've earned in this life. So the whole women coming after your money.
Are they going to be loyal, though? If you find a woman when you actually have a big bag, a high percentage of them are not going to be loyal. If you find a woman when you're broke, you bond together, you grow together, she's probably not going to cheat on you when you have the bag.
But that's if you take the nerd route. If you take the nerd route, like Elon's worth $230 billion, can't lock down a woman, still jerking off about Grimes. True. But I do think life experience is what bleeds over to, look, and I've said this on Spaces before, I do believe the single thing that a woman wants the most in a man subliminally, and I've never heard anybody else say this but me, I think ultimately a woman wants to know that she cannot fool or befuddle you. She can't pull one over on you. You see her coming a mile away, you put it in check. She has to know for sure she cannot pull the wool over your eyes on anything. You know when she's lying. You know when she's being sneaky. You just know. You can telegraph it. That only comes from life experience. That doesn't come from business. A lot of these rich crypto kids who are nerds who became very wealthy, they're struggling because they skipped the life part. You got to be in the trenches as a man, suffering pain. You got to learn life. You got to get your heart broken a couple times. That's the root of a man. Once you kind of build that scar tissue and you have that experience, it translates over and you become a gamer. Then
first you get played, then you become a player, correct?
100%.
Okay, yeah, that seems logical. Pro, anything to say?
No, I agreed with him. I would have said guidance, but it's like the same thing.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, no, because when you are looking at a guy, you kind of want to see, it's like, can he guide me in the right direction? Yeah.
100%. And I think a lot of these younger guys don't understand that you have to teach all the time. Like that being in a long-term relationship is it's life on hardcore mode. It is the hardest difficulty setting.
And especially like with us, like a bunch of women, like we've never, like most women weren't raised to be wives. Right? Like even women that like came from 2-parent households, it's like what % of men lead relationships? What % of people have traditional relationships? You know, there's an entire, and like what, I think a third of people were born in single-parent households now.
Depending on the demographics, much higher.
Yeah.
Depending on the demographics, much higher.
Yeah, but so that's what I mean when I say guidance, because half of guys don't even like, they don't even know that, you know.
No, they can't even get that part down at all.
Yeah.
Don't communicate, don't sit down, don't teach. You have to explain things.
The computer has done a lot to destroy men's ability to actually know how to talk to women.